If you're doing driving lessons and you're not happy with your instructor, is it okay to change, regardless of the reason? Should you change, and will it affect your driving? Will it add additional time or cost, or somehow delay you getting your driver's license? I've heard this question a lot, and I've just seen this post this morning. Should I change instructors? She's nice, but unreliable. I'm a very anxious driver. She's my first instructor since March, and she's nice, calm, lovely to chat to. And I feel I like being trained by her. I also like her car, a Mini. Not that I know different. I wanted 2 lessons per week, as my test is booked at the end of July, although I might change it tomorrow. But she's firstly not able to give me fixed weekly slots, which annoys my partner. He has to work and look after the baby, so can't do it whenever. E.g., I messaged her about a time tomorrow, and I got no reply in 2 days. Then she's always 15 to 30 minutes late. Wow, seriously? 15 to 30 minutes late? In a 1-hour driving lesson? Let's park that. This weekend she forgot I was booked in at 12 and changed it to 1:30. Wow. Should I find someone else? Or are most instructors like this? Okay, firstly, most instructors aren't like this. Most instructors would be out of business if they were like this. So you're a young mum, you're doing driving lessons, you've got to work around not only your own schedule, but your partner's and your baby's. Now your instructor would know this, meaning when she books a lesson with you, it's like, oh, can you do Tuesday at lunchtime next week? To which you say, yeah, I can, I'll lock it in. I need to get my partner to look after the baby while I go out for an hour or so. He can probably do it during his lunch break or whatever. So in other words, you're organising your time, your partner's time, your baby's sleep or feeding schedule around driving lessons. Now if she's turning up half an hour late, that doesn't work. Your partner may need to get back to work. Your baby may be due for a feed, for a nap, whatever. If she's forgetting that you had an appointment at 12, turning up at 1:30, oh, sorry, I'm running late. That's not acceptable. Now I know that you're saying, oh, she's a great instructor, and she may well be, but just really bad with timekeeping, really forgetful, really disorganised. Doesn't mean she's a bad teacher or a bad person. You said she's nice, she's calm, she's friendly, lovely to chat to, and you're probably going to find most instructors are like that. To be a driving instructor, you do need to be calm, friendly, easy to talk with. And I know that that's not always the case, because over the years I've heard similar things. You need to find the instructor that suits your personality. But at the end of the day, this instructor is not suiting your requirements. Ticking a few of the boxes, but not all of them. In other words, yeah, I want someone who's friendly, who's calm, who's a good teacher, who's fun, who's lovely to chat to. Tick, tick, tick. But I also need someone who's reliable, because I've got a baby and I've got a partner who works, and I need to work my times around these people as well. Now you're the one employing the instructor. The instructor works for you. You're the one paying her or him. So put yourself in a different situation. If you bought a product and it was defective or it didn't meet your requirements, you'd take it back and you'd get a refund, right? Regardless of how nice the person who sold you the product was. If I bought an iPhone and the person at the phone shop was lovely, friendly, great to talk to, but I get home and the phone doesn't work, I'm taking it back. I'm getting it fixed or I'm getting a refund. It's as simple as that. I'm the one paying the money for a product that didn't meet my expectations, so it's not going to work for me. I need to find another option. And I've heard stories over the years of driving instructors who are late, who forget their students' appointments, who are constantly on their mobile phone during lessons, which is dangerous because they should be focused on what you're doing. It's disrespectful because if you're my student, you're paying me to spend an hour with you, to focus with you on your driving journey, but I'm busy making appointments for next week or taking calls from other students, then I'm robbing you because you're the one paying me to be with you, but I'm not focused on you if I'm taking phone calls. It's disrespectful and it's dangerous because my job as an instructor is to be present with you the whole time, to be focused on what you and I are doing. But I hear this a lot from other students saying, "Oh yeah, my instructor, yeah, I really don't talk to him much. He's on the phone for most of the lesson." Oh, damn, really? You need another instructor. If you're employed to work for somebody and you didn't turn up on time, they'd sack you. Regardless of, oh, you're a nice person, yes. When you do turn up, you're great, yes. You're really nice to the customers, you're friendly, yeah, great. But you're unreliable. We can't afford to have you on the payroll. We're expecting you to turn up and start work at 9 o'clock. You're wandering at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Sometimes you forget your shift. You're not going to have a job for long, are you? Because if you're unreliable, you're letting other people down, your customers, your fellow workmates who have to cover for your shift, your managers who have to shuffle things around. Well, you're the employer in this situation. You're paying a driving instructor to be at your house at 12 o'clock. Not at 1:30, 12 o'clock. You've shuffled things around, your baby, your partner, school, sports, time with friends or family, whatever. You've set aside a time for driving lessons. If your driving instructor can't have the decency to turn up on time, then get a different one. Find someone who will. One of the things I hear a lot, and this person said the same thing. Oh, I've been doing driving lessons with this person since March. I got my test coming up in July. Well, we're now in April, May, June, July. You're looking at 3 months. That's a lot of time between now and your driving test. And I get it. The concern is this. Oh, if I swap driving instructors, is that going to affect my ability to pass my test? Because now I've got a new instructor. I'm driving a different car. Do I have to relearn everything that I've already built upon with my current instructor? No. A good instructor can take on a student at whatever level they're at. In other words, over the last 6 years as a driving instructor, I've had hundreds of students that have previously done lessons with other instructors. I look in their logbook and I can see, oh, okay, you've already done 30 hours of driving. You've had 3 previous driving instructors. It's all in the logbook. Now, I'm not going to take a student who's already done half a dozen lessons and say, okay, well, we need to start from scratch. This is how to start the car. This is how to park the car. Do you know how to do a hill start? No. Common sense is going to tell me, well, this person's already done a bunch of lessons. The obvious question to me is, okay, where are you at? Let's pick up from where you've left off. Have you done hill starts? Yes. Are you comfortable with them? Yes. Have you done parking? Yes. Are you comfortable with your parking? Yeah, I'd like to do a few refreshers. Okay, great. Let's start on that. Oh, you've got your test coming up in 3 months. Or even more simply, let's go for a drive, and within 10 minutes, I'll be able to know exactly your strengths and your weaknesses, what you struggle with, what you need help with. I'll see that. And as far as driving a different car, I get it. Oh my goodness, I've been driving my instructor's Mini. I'm so used to her car. If I get into another car, it's going to feel weird. And the reality is, yes, it may do, but only for a short time. And in actual fact, you might find that your new instructor, the car that they have, is easier to drive. You don't know until you try. The bottom line is, if you're not happy with your instructor, then change. It won't affect your driving ability. It won't affect the outcome of your test. If anything, it's going to improve. Because if you do have an instructor that you're not happy with, they're unreliable, they're not calm, maybe they yell at you. I've heard that as well. Maybe they're not teaching you the things that you feel that you need help with. You feel they're not listening to you. Oh, I want to do more parking. Oh, you'll be fine. Let's move on to this. If you're not happy in any way with your instructor, then you should change. Absolutely. Unequivocally. This is your journey, not theirs. It's yours. You're the one who's going for your driving test. You're the one paying the instructor to help you to become a test-ready candidate. And if the person that you've employed and the person that you're paying isn't on the same page, isn't helping you toward that end goal, then find someone who is. I've literally also seen people say, oh my goodness, I've had this instructor for 6 months. My test is in a week. It's too late to change. And I'll tell you right now, it's not. It's never too late to change. As an instructor, as well as hundreds of other instructors, have literally taken people learners, students, to their test. The very first time we ever meet the student is on the morning of their test. Happens a lot. Not all the time, but it does happen a lot. Like literally, I'll get a phone call from another instructor. Help, Brent. Are you able to help me, mate? I've got a student doing their test tomorrow morning. My wife's gone into hospital. My car's broken down. I've accidentally somehow double booked, whatever. Can you help me? Can you take my student to their test tomorrow? I'll owe you big time. I'll be like, yeah, sure. If I can do it, if I've got the time in my diary. And this happens a lot. I've done it. I had to go up to the city one time for a funeral. I had to quickly hand over 2 or 3 of my students that were doing their test because I had to go to a funeral. Sometimes things can't be helped. Now, on the test day, we meet the student for the first time. They drive our car for the first time. We can still help them to pass their test. It can be done because we're not starting from scratch. We're not saying, oh, I've never driven with you. This is how to use the clutch. This is how, it doesn't work like that. If you're test ready, your new instructor will know and they'll help you from that point to that point. If you're 10 hours into your driving journey, your new instructor can help you from this point to get you over to that point. And in actual fact, sometimes just having a new instructor can be more helpful than staying with your old instructor. A new set of eyes, different pair of ears, a different car, just a different perspective can sometimes help. I've literally had other driving instructors send their students to me. Hey Brent, I've got this student, she's really struggling, and I just really feel that a new instructor, a different car, a different perspective, different eyes, different ears, could really be what she's looking for. And I think it'll help. I'll be like, yeah, okay, I get it. That makes sense. So I go and spend some time with this student because her and her previous instructor may have just become a little bit stale. They're constantly doing the same thing over and over, but it's just not quite clicking. So coming to a different instructor with a different teaching approach can sometimes be actually very beneficial. I had this exact conversation on the weekend. I'm also part of an ongoing event that's run by the RAC insurance company. RAC in Australia is the same as AA in other parts of the world. Massive insurance company. But they also do road safety initiatives and programs, among other things. But we do these pop-up events where we may have a group of 30, 40, 50 students and their parents come along to these events. Part of the event is classroom-based, and part of the event is out on the road with an instructor, where the parents come along for the drive, they sit in the back, and at each event there may be 5 or 6 different instructors, like myself. But during that time, the students get to alternate between different activities. They may be doing parking with this instructor, a different procedure with another instructor, some driving with me, some driving with a different instructor. So they get to experience different perspectives, different views, different ways of doing things. And the feedback that we often get at the end of the session is, you know what? It's actually really good getting the perspective of all the different instructors and being in the car with 2 or 3 different instructors, because everyone's got a different way of doing things, of teaching, different perspective, different experience, just looking through a different lens. And the feedback is often, yeah, this is actually really beneficial, alternating between different instructors. I see this sort of thing all the time. Oh, should I change instructors? My instructor's not reliable. My instructor's not focused. Spends a lot of time on the phone during lessons. My instructor yells at me. My instructor makes me feel silly. The bottom line is, please do not feel that you have to stay with your instructor, because you don't. You're the employer. You're the one paying the instructor's fee. That's coming out of your pocket. It's your time. You're the one giving up your 1 hour or your 2 hours. So if you're not happy with your instructor, change. If your instructor can't accommodate you, find someone who can. This person's saying, oh, I wanted to do 2 lessons a week, but my instructor can't. Well, find someone who can. Have 2 or more instructors. This is less common, but not uncommon. I've had students that I'll do lessons with on a Tuesday. I look in their logbook next week when I see them. Oh, you did a lesson on Thursday as well with another instructor? Yeah, I just wanted to get a different view. Or I wanted to do Thursdays, but you weren't available because you were fully booked. So I'm using this guy as well. Fine, great. Any good instructor will want to see you succeed, whatever it takes. Personally, I encourage my students to do as much driving as they can with their mum, with their dad, their aunts, their uncles, their grandparents, their partners, other instructors. Because to become test ready, you need experience. You need certain skills. You need confidence. And that's only going to come by repetition. The more you do it, the more frequently you're driving, the more you put yourself in different scenarios. Driving at night, driving in the rain, driving in the country versus town, car parking versus just driving, driving on long, fast roads, 2, 3, 4-lane highways, tight suburban streets, school zones, busy intersections, traffic lights, busy shopping centre car parks. The more you can drive, the more confidence you're going to have. So get out there and drive with as many instructors or other drivers that you can. So if your instructor's unreliable, either switch or find another instructor and utilize the two of them. If you've got one, oh, she's friendly, she's nice, she's calm, but she's unreliable, well, use her for the times that she's available. But if she's not available or she turns up an hour and a half late, let her know, sorry, that's not acceptable. You said you'd be here at 12. I waited till 12:30. You didn't show, so I found somebody else. And I want to cancel today's lesson because you weren't here. Don't be afraid to have this conversation with your instructor. Let them know that this is not acceptable behavior. If you were unreliable at work, you would get 3 strikes and you're out. You'd have conversations. You'd get written warnings. Do the same with your instructor. Let them know. Our lesson today was meant to be at 12. You turn up at 12:30. That doesn't work for me. I need to be at work. My partner needs to get back to work and he's babysitting at the moment. If you can't make it at 12, I need warning so I can rearrange my day. Because guaranteed, there are a lot of driving instructors who require 24-hour notice for cancellation. And if you don't give them notice, they may still charge you for the lesson. Because at the end of the day, they've penciled a time in the diary. I've got this student at 12 o'clock. I've got this student at 2 o'clock. This one at 4 o'clock, whatever. Now, if you don't show up, that's an hour or so of their time that they could have given to a different student. They've made allowances for you to be there at 12. They've driven to your house. They've used petrol and time. If you don't show up, that's a real cost to them. So they're kind of within their rights to say, well, if you don't give me warning that you can't make you a lesson, then I need to charge you still, like a doctor would, or most other professionals would. You book their time and don't show up, they're going to charge you for it. Well, if you book a time with the instructor and the instructor doesn't turn up, then you're out of time and pocket too, aren't you? And that's not acceptable. You need to let your instructor know that. Let me know if this video has been helpful. And if you're learning to drive, subscribe, because I've got plenty more tips coming. Thanks for watching.